Sani Abacha ruled Nigeria from 1993 to 1998. Under his regime, billions were stolen, journalists were detained, and he was linked to multiple high-profile political deaths, including the case of Kudirat Abiola. His rule was not just brutal, it was soaked in secrets. But what if I told you that some truths were buried, files erased, names hidden, crimes covered up? In this video, we uncover the real story they never wanted you to know. The 3 to 5 billion scandal, the betrayal, and the truth behind his mysterious death. Watch till the end, because this is Abacha's dirty secrets exposed. And don't forget to subscribe for more chilling histories they tried to bury. Sani Abacha was born in Kano in 1943 into a Kanuri family with modest roots. He joined the Nigerian army in 1963 after leaving the government college, Kano. He trained at the Mons Officer Cadet School in Aldershot, England, and was commissioned as a second lieutenant in 1963. By the 1980s, he had become a key figure in multiple coups. He played an operational role in the December 1983 coup that brought General Muhammadu Buhari to power, and in August 1985, he was instrumental again in the coup that ousted Buhari and installed General Ibrahim Babangida. In both cases, Abacha remained loyal to whoever held power at the time. In 1990, Babangida appoints him as Chief of Army Staff as a reward for his support during the coup. 2 years later, he was appointed Minister of Defense. As Nigeria moved toward democracy, Abacha's involvement in undermining Nigeria's transition to civilian rule became more visible in the events that followed the June 12, 1993 election. On June 12th, led by Professor Humphrey Nwosu, Nigerians voted in what became the most credible and transparent election in the country's history. 2 days later, the election results were announced. Moshood Kashimawo Olawale Abiola won the election, becoming the first Southerner to freely and fairly secure the national mandate with wide popular support. But the military regime under Babangida annulled the election, citing the issue of electoral malpractices and national security concerns as the reasons. Public reaction was immediate. There were nationwide protests, international condemnation, and a total loss of legitimacy for the Babangida government. Over 100 pro-Abiola demonstrators would be killed. Babangida's military regime then proceeded to terminate all National Electoral Commission (NEC) activities. Olusegun Obasanjo and Muhammadu Buhari and other former generals issued a joint statement demanding for Babangida's removal from power. Facing mounting pressure, Babangida resigned on August 26, 1993, handing over power to an unelected civilian-led interim national government headed by Ernest Shonekan. This was a calculated move. Abacha had advised the formation of the ING but ensured that its powers were limited. Shonekan was surrounded by military officers still loyal to Abacha. The arrangement was temporary by design. On November 17, 1993, just 3 months after the ING was formed, Sani Abacha summoned Shonekan to a meeting and compelled him to resign. Hours later, Abacha assumed full control as head of state. There were no democratic processes involved, no election, no consultation, no transparency. Upon taking power, he suspended the 1989 constitution, dissolved the National Assembly, banned all political parties, and imposed military rule across all levels of government. Abiola, the winner of the annulled June 12th election, remained a threat. On the eve of the first anniversary of the June 12th election, Chief MKO Abiola declared himself president during a bold speech in Lagos. In June 1994, Abacha ordered his arrest. The arrest was carried out without formal trial or charges. Abiola would spend the next 4 years in detention, isolated from the outside world. Abacha refused to release him, despite international appeals and calls for negotiation. He remained unmoved. The Abacha regime deployed military intelligence to monitor, detain, and in many cases eliminate dissenting voices. The National Democratic Coalition, NADICO, a pro-democracy group composed of exiled and domestic activists, was declared an enemy of the state. Abacha issued a decree that gave him right to detain anyone without reason. He also went ahead to destroy any entity that opposed his government. On June 4, 1996, Kudirat Abiola, wife of the detained MKO Abiola, was killed in her car in Lagos. She had been one of the most vocal figures in the campaign to restore her husband's mandate. Journalists who published works opposing his rule were detained. Bagauda Kalto, a prominent journalist, disappeared after publishing critical reports. On August 19th, security forces arrested NADECO chairman Chief Anthony Enahoro, along with Chief Cornelius Adebayo and General Alani Akinrinade. They were later released. Many of the assassinations linked to Abacha's regime have been traced to Major Hamza al-Mustafa, his powerful chief security officer. The Guardian was one of the most outspoken critics of Abacha's regime. Its publisher Alex Ibru was later shot in his car by unknown gunmen, the regime's security forces. In March 1995, former military President General Olusegun Obasanjo was attending a UN summit in Denmark when he received word that his former deputy, General Shehu Musa Yar'Adua, had been detained. Obasanjo was warned not to return to Nigeria, but he nevertheless returned. Upon his return, Obasanjo was immediately arrested by the police, accused of having ties to an alleged coup plot led by Brigadier General Lawan Gwadabe. On July 14th, the court sentenced Obasanjo to 25 years in prison. General Yar'Adua and 14 others, accused of being part of the same conspiracy, were sentenced to death. Abacha later commuted their death sentences to life imprisonment and reduced Obasanjo's term to 15 years. But in 1997, General Shehu Musa Yar'Adua died in prison, never making it out alive. Abacha also ordered the arrest of his own deputy, General Oladipo Dia, over an alleged coup plot in 1997. Dia was sentenced to death. He pleaded for his life. And although he was spared, the sentence was never officially overturned. During Abacha's rule, he began to transfer billions of dollars in public funds into secret offshore accounts. Between 1993 and 1998, an estimated $3 to $5 billion was stolen from Nigeria's treasury. In September 1999, a Swiss lawyer named Enrico Monfrini was hired to trace the billions stolen by General Abacha and his associates. His investigation uncovered more than $2 billion hidden in offshore accounts. General Sani Abacha died on June 8, 1998, inside the presidential villa in Abuja at the age of 54. His sudden death remains a mystery as he was buried without an official autopsy, fueling speculation that he may have been poisoned. The federal government, however, officially stated that he died of a heart attack. About a month later, on July 7, 1998, Chief MKO Abiola, the winner of the June 12, 1993 election, died suddenly of heart complications. He was 60 years old, and the day marked his scheduled release from detention. On July 20, 1998, the new head of state, General Abdul Salami Abubakar, declared May 29, 1999, as the handover date to civilian rule. On May 29, 1999, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, who had been imprisoned under Abacha, was sworn in as the first president of Nigeria's Fourth Republic. Despite its oppressive nature, the Abacha regime recorded some economic and infrastructural gains. Foreign reserves grew significantly, Nigeria avoided external debt, and the Petroleum Trust Fund oversaw road construction and healthcare projects across the country. But these achievements were deeply overshadowed by the regime's brutality, corruption, and disregard for human rights. The regime of General Sani Abacha remains one of the darkest chapters in Nigeria's history, marked by fear, repression, and stolen wealth. The scars remain, but so does the lesson. Power is never permanent, and history never forgets. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more dark chapters of history, just like the one you've just watched.